Are you ready? Ooh, I know you see me sitting here. Do you want to talk hockey, my dear?
Oh, that was better recovery than I thought it was. I was like, I don't know what she's going to do with that.
I fumbled halfway through.
It's okay.
After you, my liege.
No, you go.
No, you.
No, it was not anything important.
No, after you, my
Nope.
fair child.
Because I'm pale.
Yes, that's what fair means. Okay. Welcome to episode 8. This is Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby.
And today we're talking about
Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
how many teams are there in Florida?
2.
Oh.
Florida Panthers in Miami and Tampa Bay.
Okay.
In Tampa Bay.
And Tampa Bay. Most importantly, Tampa Bay.
Yes, my friend Sophia is a massive Tampa Bay fan.
Okay.
And so I got some notes from her on different things, which actually pointed out a lot of things that I didn't notice. Specifically, she called out one goal in a game that happened 3 years ago by how much time was left in the game. She called it out by date and time.
So it's haunting her.
I think it's in a good way though, because
wow.
benefited them. But I just laughed so hard. She was like, May 23rd, 2022.
I mean, we all remember where we were for Abu Dhabi 2021. We all remember.
Depressed. That's where I was. I was in depression.
Okay, well, I was rejoicing because Max won, even though it was very controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
And I think he proved in the later years that he
Yeah.
was a winner. But most importantly, I have a Devils sweatshirt. Woo! I looked up merch because I'm officially a Devils fan because I can't stop talking about them. And I watch their games and I've got their calendar written on our calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer casual. Like, we had to DTR, if you will, and I subscribed to being a fan. But the merch was really expensive, so I just hopped onto Etsy and got what I wanted. But here, I'll show everyone.
I don't love a lot of the actual NHL merch. It really is annoying because the Hurricanes merch is not what I want it to be.
Yeah.
They have a couple hats, but I don't wear hats too often.
Yeah.
Like, I want a sweatshirt that I can wear
and I will
5
say,
days a week.
I even looked at the Hurricane stuff as like a Christmas present to you, but there's just nothing really cutesy on Etsy either.
Here's what I want. And if somebody can make this and send me the link to it, I will pay an obscene amount of money for it. I want like a picture, but every single person, I want Rod Brindamore holding the Stanley Cup. I want somehow get Andrei Svechnikov's lacrosse goal in there. I want, I don't know, Brent Burns bodying someone. Can I get Kochetkov in there? Just the picture of No Touch My Guys. I want a montage.
I want a
I also
picture
want a
of
cute
Brett
one.
Burns and Seth Jarvis holding hands if they
Walking
still do
out
that.
of the
Yeah.
locker room. Yes.
I want that.
Get us a picture from Jack.
Drury?
Why did I just blank on it? Jack Drury's Harvard graduation. Get me a picture of it.
Our Harvard
Put
man.
it on there somewhere. Like,
Where is it?
where is it?
Give it to me.
Anyways.
You might just have to customize your own.
It's a lot of energy.
It is, but I'll be done with school in a month, and it might be something worth putting energy into.
My birthday is in January.
Yep. 'Tis.
January 30th.
It's an expensive quarter for the Mansell family.
It is.
It's an expensive quarter for our family.
Dude, from October to the end of January, there's so many birthdays, so many holidays. Whew. We're halfway through. Okay.
Are we?
I don't know.
Whatever. We need a win. Yes, we're halfway through. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. Here's
Family intact. Everything's great. Everyone's happy and everyone gets along. Let's
Yes.
talk about the Lightning.
Let's talk about the
or
Lightning.
someone else.
Okay, F1 equivalent for the Tampa Bay Lightning, I have as Racing Point.
It's a blast from the past.
Yes, both of the F1 equivalents for these two teams we're going to talk about are no longer F1 teams. They're both very niche references. But Racing Point, I said because they had shady owners and questionable financial statutes.
Yes. Okay.
Bought by a really rich man who didn't really have any business owning a team, but also kind of did at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to describe it. We'll talk about some stuff and you'll be like, yeah, it's giving Racing Point.
I will accept Racing Point. I will also accept Force India.
Force India. They were the same thing, weren't they?
One came before the other.
Okay, then Force India is what I was going for.
Racing Point came after Force India. Because
Okay.
I'm almost positive it was Force India, Racing Point, Aston Martin.
I think it was. I meant Force India.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember if Lawrence
A little bit of
Stroll
both.
owned Racing Point, but definitely Force India.
Mm-hmm.
The sketchiest of all.
Yeah. This is Force India then.
But that's what happens when you don't do your research to make sure that people who are trying to buy things can actually afford it.
Yes. Okay, so they were founded in 1992 at the
Okay.
same time as the Senators were.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Their
My
current-
babies.
Yeah. Their current owners are Vinnick Sports Group, otherwise known as Jeffrey Vinnick, who is very loved.
He will be loved. Oh, was that actually kind of good?
Their current general manager is Julien Brisebois, who's also pretty good, and he's pretty open about how he didn't even want to work in sports. He wanted to be a lawyer, but he came in the law field and then just became general manager
Well,
eventually.
would you look at that? I'm about to falsify my lawyer papers because apparently that's a thing. You can just make up that you have qualifications and people just accept it. So, you know what? I'm about to be a lawyer. He should reach out.
Yeah. And their current coach is John Cooper.
That's a cute name.
Yes. They've had 3 Stanley Cups,
Okay.
2004, 2020, and 2021.
Oh, so recent.
Yeah.
All right.
And they have 4 conference championships, 2004, 2015, 2020, and 2022. And then 4 division championships as well.
So we're doing some things.
Yeah, they're doing some things
Yeah.
for sure. Their name came from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay is the lightning capital of North America. Fun fact. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
So that's why they're the Lightning.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll accept it.
Mm-hmm. They were established by 2 brothers,
Oh, yes.
Phil and Tony Esposito.
Okay.
Both of them are Hockey Hall of Famers as well.
Oh, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good stuff.
And they had a business partner with the Kokusai Green, which was a golf course and resort company. They're who you're gonna see a lot of the sketchy financial situations with.
Yeah, that tracks.
But the Esposito brothers wanted to found it. They didn't have all the money, so they obviously had to bring in somebody else. Phil Esposito was general manager, and Tony became the chief scout. They hired Terry Crisp, who was a 2-time Stanley Cup winner on the same team that Phil was on. He also coached for Calgary when they won their Stanley Cup. They named him head coach, so they're stacking a bunch of people.
They're bringing in the family, the inner circle.
Phil also hired former Boston Bruins teammate from the 70s, Wayne Cashman, which is there's some great hockey names that we're going to talk about today, as assistant coach, and another teammate as team trainer.
So they brought in people that actually know hockey. I feel like that's probably a good move.
Yeah, they did. Also, before the season began, they have preseason games, right? Manon Rayon became the first woman to play in an NHL game. It was an exhibition game preseason against St. Louis, but she came in as a goaltender.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm a fan. I like it. I forgive you for beating the shit out of us. It is okay.
All as well.
We love to see women in sports.
Yeah.
Especially in that time period.
Yeah.
That time period. It was like 30 years ago. But still.
Honestly,
How many women play in the NHL?
Even in this time period,
Yes.
She returned the following preseason to play games again in 1993.
So she was
She
good.
never fully made the team, but she did play in exhibition games preseason. In 1998, she played on the Canadian silver medal winning team for the Olympics, which
Get that medal,
Yes,
girl.
ma'am.
We love it.
And in both 1992 and 1994, she won gold on Team Canada at the World Hockey Championships.
What can't she do?
She is
Who's
that girl.
that girl?
Who's that girl?
I support her. Where's her merch?
They were very competitive, though. Their first season, they broke a lot of records, especially for expansion teams at the time. They came in and they knocked them all out.
They pulled a Bruins.
Mm-hmm. Their second season, though, they did finish last in their division.
Can't win them all.
But they came in that first one and did that thing. They made the playoffs for the first time in 96 and played very well until their goalie was injured. And as we're seeing now, if you don't have a good goalie, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So let's go season breakdown. 1996 through 97 season. Very good. They did develop a lot of injuries and very narrowly missed the playoffs. This team, their players must be fragile because they have a lot of injuries.
They didn't drink their milk.
They didn't drink their milk. The following season, or 2 seasons later, they had a bunch of bad trades and ill-advised trades. Their lead goaltender developed problems with his back that limited his game time. He only played 50 games from 1996 to 2000.
Ugh.
And he ultimately retired in 2000.
Yeah.
Bradley, who was their lead goal scorer, also had a series of bad concussions.
Oh, no.
And lost a lot of game time. He ended up playing 49 games from 1996 to 1999 when he retired. Their centerman, John Colin, developed non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Did I say that right?
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Mm-hmm.
You were very close.
Okay.
94.
And missed the last 12 games of the season before retiring in 1999.
Extremely fair.
So they struggled, clearly.
Oh, yeah. We were running on fumes.
By the 1998 through 99 season, most of their star players weren't available for every game, were injured, had retired, or had become free agents. And Terry Crisp, who was the head coach at the time, was fired and replaced by Jacques Demers, who helped rebuild Detroit in the past.
Did he make them drink milk?
I'll tell you what he didn't do. He didn't limit their phone time.
Limiting their phone time and their smoking and drinking is crazy.
Yeah.
You got me with the smoking and drinking, but also we're grown adults. Stay in your fucking lane.
Yeah.
Also, it wasn't even working.
Yeah. Despite the coaching change, though, they did still lose 55 games.
So I don't think that coach
season.
is responsible for people developing back problems and concussions and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I agree.
I'll give him some grace.
They became worst in the league. A lot of that big blame fell on ownership, not properly managing players and not properly making trades. That was the worst season in franchise history to this day.
I believe it.
And there was actually a lot of bankruptcy rumors about the team and the team being a part of possible money laundering schemes.
No.
Specifically with the Japanese crime family Yakuza, which was inevitably actually taken down in 2018.
We were down with the Yakuza family.
Have you heard of them?
Yes, you know I love mafia stuff like that.
So there's a lot going on with it. That's why I was like, it's giving Force India.
It's giving Force India. Oh my gosh, yes.
The IRS actually investigated them from 1994 through 95.
That feels justified.
And almost put a tax lien on them. Do you know what a tax lien is?
No.
So if you don't pay your taxes in like a timely manner or in the full amount, they will basically take your property or raise your tax. They'll fine you. Like they just take what they can to, because they're going to get their money.
There was another team that the IRS investigated and like locked the doors on the stadium so no one could come in. I don't
Pittsburgh.
remember. Yeah.
They had
It sounds familiar, but I just don't recall.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I do not recall at this time.
They almost put them on a tax lien for $750,000 in back taxes, which is they just didn't pay the full amount. So they still owed them $750,000.
Major yikes. I will never understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the team ultimately was trying to sell to someone else. But they wanted $230 million for it, which was
For what?
way out of its price range because, yeah, they owed the IRS that much money, but they had so much more debt as well. And nobody wants to pay $230 million for crippling debt that they're going to inquire.
Mario Lemieux would have helped out if he could,
Yeah,
but he couldn't because he
100%.
was carrying the Penguins.
He was too busy saving the Penguins.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Their infrastructure was fucked. I tried to find a better word. I tried to, but I couldn't, which was another reason why a lot of possible owners weren't interested in it. They didn't know who was really in charge, including people inside the business didn't really know who was in charge.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Kakasai Green's owners had never even met the Esposito brothers or even the NHL officials or watched the team play after 7 years of ownership.
I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah, I didn't either. And it got to a point where the NHL was just considering just taking control of the team, just taking over.
Please.
And they gave them a time limit of, like, you've got to find a buyer by the end of 1998 or, like, we're just taking over.
I think that's more than gracious.
Forbes actually,
The Forbes
actually stated that their debt was 236% over their value. Yeah.
I have no words. How does that happen? Were the players even getting paid?
The players were getting paid.
How?
I don't know.
With fake money?
With fake money, I think.
Oh,
that's why people were like,
no.
are they money laundering? What is going on here?
What on earth is going on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how did it turn out? I'm sure it turned out amazingly.
Well, the team finally sold in 1998 to Art William, who had previously owned a Canadian Football League team.
I hate that for the brothers, though. They had really good intentions, I think.
He was an insurance tycoon and a motivational speaker. At the time that he bought them, they had $120 million in debt.
I'm so nauseous hearing that.
Yeah, he knew basically nothing about hockey.
He knows about money.
He does know about money. But his first action was to add $6 million into payroll. He cleared the majority of their debt while ensuring the Esposito brothers would continue to hold their roles, only to then fire them 2 games later.
Well, see, this is why we accept a sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about, senators.
Yeah.
They don't know what accept it.
They don't know how to accept the sugar daddy of Anaheim.
I hate that he told him that they're a butterfly. Look, a butterfly.
Butterfly.
What are you doing here? Anyways, I hate that he told the brothers that their jobs were safe and then bamboozled them.
Yeah.
But I also feel like they got themselves into that situation where they needed to be rescued. You can't expect job security after you've like essentially ruined a team. Not that it was you, but you were involved.
This is why you do your research into who you're becoming business partners with.
This is why you do your research.
Mm-hmm.
You never met them. That didn't seem a little suspicious. That didn't seem a little weird.
Yeah. Despite the change in ownership, they still lost 54 games that season. A lot of people said that Art was just in way over his head and he didn't have any business being there. But,
he's got money, honey.
You know, he came in, he cleared the debt, a lot of it, not all of it, but the majority of it. And in the off season, after the 99 season, Art Williams sold the team for $2 million less than what he had initially bought it for to William Davidson, the owner of the Detroit Pistons. NBA.
Thank you, because I did not know what that meant.
Yeah. William Davidson already owned a minor league hockey team, the Detroit Vipers. So he had some experience. And the Detroit Vipers were actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, they should be. They've got a great name.
Yeah. So on top of new ownership, they also acquired a minor league affiliate as well. So they had a channel for new players and everything. Davidson basically came in and did a clean sweep of the team management, which I feel like that's a good idea.
I feel like we just needed to start from scratch at that point.
Yeah. Tom Wilson was made team president. They hired a new GM, Rick Dudley, who was the former Detroit Vipers general manager.
The minor league one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Dudley brought the Vipers head coach, Steve Ludzik, to be the head coach of this team as well.
I hope that they, you know how some teams have like a little chant or whatever that they do before they go out. I hope that theirs was just like like more than anything. I hope they did that. Continue. You have my.
That is not what I thought you were going to say.
What do you think I was gonna say?
Not that.
Fair. What can I say? I'm not like other girls.
Yeah. She's so different.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh my gosh.
All right. You have my attention.
Lock in.
Walk in.
William Davidson was, I don't know. I think anybody who had come in was still going to be set up for failure because of what the Kokusai group had done.
Well, you're at a disadvantage either way.
100%. They would become the first NHL team in history to have 4 straight 50-loss seasons by 2001.
Moment of silence for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. During that time, at least, they did have a couple players that they brought in to really gain momentum, and they did. Le Cavalier, Brad Richard. That's it, really.
When you said a couple, you meant a couple. You meant two.
I meant a couple. They came in. They were getting a lot of momentum. They were getting in their stride. They also hired John Tortorella as head coach. We know him.
Yeah, we do. Isn't he the one that looks like Steve Jobs?
Yes.
You're a big fan of him.
I am a fan of him. They acquired a really great goaltender. And they showed significant improvement in the 2001-2002 season. Despite the improvement, their general manager was still fired and replaced.
God dang, they go through some general managers in this sport.
They go through so many people in this sport.
I thought the SEC was bad, but maybe not the SEC. I thought Auburn was bad. I don't really keep up with football.
Dude,
maybe everyone does it. I don't watch.
Yeah. And the following season, though, they did win the division title for the first time and made the Stanley Cup semifinals.
Thank God.
So they're finally clicking a bit.
There we go.
Yes. In 2003 and 2004, they continued to show improvement, and they went on to win their very first Stanley Cup.
Very proud.
Yes.
Extremely proud.
They were
Good job.
They were mainly led by their line, the Big Three.
Yes. Okay.
Which was Le Cavalier, Brad Richard, and Martin St. Louis, who we've actually talked about. Martin previously, he played for Philadelphia, and he helped lead a bunch of their teams too.
And he came and did it in Florida.
Period. They did, however, fall back into inconsistency. Amazingly inconsistent is what I said.
How does one become amazingly inconsistent?
Well, in 2007, they sucked. They were the last team in the league. However, at the same time, Le Cavalier broke franchise records for the most points scored in a season.
He was trying his dang hardest, too.
Yes, and he led the league in goals that season.
He was putting the whole team on his back.
He was
like, I don't care.
carrying-
I don't care if y'all don't want to go. You're coming.
Yes.
Get in the car.
He was like, get in the car.
Get on my back.
I'll pull this car over if I have to.
Did I tell you we're there yet? Stop asking.
He said, just hold my hand and we're gonna run.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Get on my back.
They did change ownership, and the general manager of the Blue Jackets actually came in and bought their team. He didn't work for the Blue Jackets anymore.
Oh,
but
okay.
He came in and was like, "Come on."
And are they cursed now?
They changed ownership again the following year to Oren Kules, who was the producer of Saw, the horror movie.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
And his partner, Lynn Barry, former NHL player and real estate developer.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Lots of trades happened, including a lot of their big players.
Have we ever considered not trading as aggressively as we do?
Yeah, they really say it's not clicking, so let's just trade them all.
They really say, I'm not the problem, you're the problem.
It's a lot for sure. They trade so often.
Like, why are we trading that much?
And the thing is, it didn't hurt, but it also didn't help.
That's the thing. It hardly ever helps that much.
Mm-mm. Unless they're trading for like a big name.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
they did in 2008, trade right at the trade deadline. Brad Richard was sent to a different team.
Why?
And they received a lot of other players. Right?
It sucks.
Still, again, multiple players were injured or out, including Le Cavalier. And at the end of the season, John Tortorella was fired and the general manager actually resigned. Quote, frustrated with the organization. He still had 3 years left in his contract.
I feel like I can see that.
There's not much on it, but the vibes I get, it wasn't like a resign. It was just I'm actually done here. I just can't.
It's like, I can't work with this. I'm
just
gonna
cursed.
leave.
Yeah.
I gotta go my own way.
In 2010, they sell the team again. This is what, their 6th owner?
I've lost track. We're definitely up towards 10-ish.
Yes. They sell to Jeffrey Vinnick, a.k.a. Vinnick Sports Group, who still owns the team today. Mm-hmm. He completely cleans house, fires head coach and general manager the day after the season ended. He hired Steve Yzerman from the Red Wings that we talked about last week
Yes.
as general manager, and Guy Boucher as head coach. He was a head coach at Montreal.
I was like, I know that name too.
Mm-hmm. They also just stocked their team with better players.
That feels very appropriate. And did it work?
For the 2010-2011 season, they finished with a record of 46-25-11. And with 103 points, matching the franchise wins record so far.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally.
They made the playoffs for the first time since 2007.
War is over.
Yeah. They did go on for a few years to have a bunch of ups and downs. So we're just going to, it's a lot of the same thing we've talked about. We're going to fast forward to 2014-2015 season. They make the playoffs again. Thank God. They beat Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. They then beat the Canadiens in the second round, followed by the New York Rangers in the third round, and made the finals for the second time in franchise history.
Look at them go.
Yeah. However, it was against Chicago, who we haven't talked about yet.
Chicago.
But
we have talked about them a lot.
We've talked about them a lot.
Talking about them.
Yeah. They lost to Chicago in the finals. The following season, 2015 to 2016, again, crippled with injuries. They did, however, make the playoffs. They made the conference finals and lost to Pittsburgh. And then in September of 2018, Steve Yzerman actually resigns as general manager, and Julien Brisebois will take over, who is the current general manager. There's just so much.
There was a lot of changing hands
There's
and firing
so
and trading and resigning. It was a lot of drama.
There was so
it's
much.
a lot of drama for 30 years.
The 2018-19 season, though, they did clinch their second division title, and they actually won the President's Trophy that season, but they were swept in the first round of playoffs. Yeah. I love that you're laughing.
The playoffs are so brutal. You can never know. You never know what's going to happen at
It's
home.
insane. Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not. I feel nauseous just thinking about it.
Yeah. The 2019-2020 season was cut short from COVID. They only played 70 games, and so it was a different setup to decide who went to playoffs and who didn't. They made it. The previous season, a lot of their players had left at the end of the season or retired or just got traded. And so they started this 2019-2020 season really rough, 17-13-4, before coming back and winning 23 of the next 26 games, including 2 10-game win streaks. They made the playoffs and beat the Dallas Stars in the final to win the Stanley Cup.
Lovely. Good stuff.
Yes, they started a new tradition for Tampa Bay sports teams after the Cup because, you know, they do a parade. It's a whole thing when you win the Cup. Because it was COVID, they had a boat parade. The Tampa Bay Arena sits right on the harbor. So in order to have like social distancing and whatnot, they just had a bunch of boats going around with the cup that they were holding to basically abide by the regulations. But now a lot of other teams in Tampa Bay do that. When they win something, they'll have a little boat parade and people line the harbor. So it's kind of cutesy.
That's cute.
They do it down Hillsborough River. We're up to the 2020-2021 season. They made the playoffs again against Florida, beating them 4-2 in the first round. Then they went on to beat Carolina in the semifinals and beat Montreal in the finals for their third Stanley Cup. At the celebration, Patrick Maroon, who was a player on the team at the time, actually slipped while carrying the cup and dented it. They repaired it.
Oh, that poor man.
They repaired it, though. He blames it because there was like a thunderstorm going on.
Okay.
Which
That's
I think
not very safe.
I think it's very ironic. The Tampa Bay Lightning wins. They're celebrating in a thunderstorm.
Even God was happy they won.
Yeah, period. They made the finals again in the 2021-2022 season before losing to Colorado. Actually, this is the goal that I wanted to talk about. In that playoff season, the 2022, this is the game that Sophia calls out by date and time. In Game 5 of Round 2, they're playing the Florida Panthers before they beat them. The deciding game of that series was tied at 1-1. Ross Colton makes the game-winning goal with just 3.8 seconds left in it to win the series to go to the finals.
3.8 seconds.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's cinema.
That's cinema.
Ugh.
And that's really all I have for their history. They're okay. They're competitive. But
Yeah, they're out here doing
things. They're out
things.
here doing the things. They struggled in the beginning, but their general manager is very loved. Their owner is also very loved. And honestly, I think why this team is so loved, they do a lot of philanthropic work
Cute.
in their community. Sophia pointed it out. I didn't even catch any of this. So then I went to look more into it.
What do they do?
For every goal scored, Mosaic will donate $1,000 to a regional food partner to combat food insecurity.
Yes.
They donate
sir.
an additional $1,500 for a hat trick.
Lovely.
Last year, they donated $89,000.
Oh, I freaking love to hear that.
Yes.
Love a team that gives back.
On top of that, Nick Paul, who is a left wing for the team, he's very passionate about mental health awareness.
Same.
And for every point that he scores, he personally donates $150 to the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. And the Lightning Foundation, which is the team's charitable foundation, will match his donation at the end of every season.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with that.
Also, part of their thing, Vincent LeCavalier started a foundation that included a $3 million pledge to All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg. It went towards the founding of the Vincent LeCavalier Pediatric Cancer and Blood Center.
That is good stuff.
Yeah.
I freaking love that.
Following that point in my notes, their mascot is a lightning bug
That's so cute.
named Thunderbug.
That's adorable.
It's very cute, but their mascot, I don't like their mascot.
I mean, I don't like any mascot.
But I think that it's cute that it's a lightning bug.
I think it's really cute that it's a lightning bug whose name is Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
I think there's room in our hearts for multiple teams.
Yeah, because I like every single one of them that comes along.
I don't like every single one of them.
Not every single one,
Definitely
but a
not.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Also, Jeffrey Vinnick, this happened just a couple weeks ago. He did sell a majority stake of the team. He still has a lot of the ownership, but he sold a majority of it. And off of what he made from that sell, he rolled out $20 million in employee bonuses.
I want a bonus.
That's why people love him so much. That's like,
I freaking love it.
I
I like their
saw-
morals. I like their vibe. I like
saw
their mascot
somewhere
name.
that's like $50,000 to $60,000 per employee. Like, that is
They deserve it.
life-changing money for a lot of people.
That's like what I make in a year.
Yeah. Yeah, felt. Another player. I'll just talk about their goaltender. Sophia calls him the best goalie in the league. And
Don't tell Jeremy Swayman.
the internet kind of agrees with he's one of Andre Vasilevsky.
Andre Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
I like that. That name flows well.
Yeah, it's very nice. He was drafted 12th overall in 2012, and he was just recently, like just a few games ago, considered the fastest goalie to reach 300 wins. He's only ever started in 490 games.
Dang.
So that's an insane record.
When you call him perfect, but you meant to call him the number 12 pick of the 2012 season.
Yes, literally. Yeah. And that's all I have for them, really.
I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
They got me with the philanthropic work and with the Thunderbug thing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very cutesy.
Very cutesy, very demure, very mindful.
Very mindful. We're giving back.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Toronto Maple Leafs.
Let's do it.
Their F1 equivalent I put as Braun GP.
That is so freaking niche. What the heck?
I know.
Please expand on that.
So Jensen Button raced for Braun, and
We love him, a king.
I love Jensen Button. So Braun GP came in and dominated from the get-go. There's a lot of drama regarding how they came into the league. Braun came in because Honda couldn't afford to stick there anymore and basically got kicked out. And the Maple Leafs came in because that Toronto guy, Livingstone, they wanted to kick him out.
Oh my God, I forgot about that douchebag.
Yes. Yes. Also, Toronto came in and won the Stanley Cup their first year of the NHL. Jensen Button won his first world championship the first year of Braun GP.
He's such a friggin' icon.
He is. It's true. They were founded in 1917 at the same time that the NHL was formed.
Okay.
You remember this.
Yes.
Their current owner is Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. They have 11 dynasty seasons.
Fair enough. I mean, they've been here over 100 years.
Yeah.
I expect you to have several dynasties.
Yeah. If you've been here this long and you don't have a Stanley Cup, what are you doing here? They have 13 Stanley Cups.
Fair play.
No conference championships, but 6 division championships. All of their Stanley Cups are before, so now it's like the conference champions play in the Stanley Cup finals. That was more recent development. Back then it was kind of just everybody played.
That's so weird they don't have any, though.
Right?
But, I mean, if you're saving up for the Stanley Cup, I mean, job well done.
Yeah. Well, their most recent Stanley Cup was 1967.
Oh.
So it's been a while. But they did win the division title in 2000 and 2021.
What happened?
I don't really remember. I wrote these notes days ago. So we're going to find out together.
We have like 60 years of them not really doing anything.
Yeah. They were in original 16, obviously.
Yeah.
They do not claim the Toronto Blue Shirts. They do, however, because you remember that arena was granted a temporary one-season team. They do claim that team's history, even though it was an unnamed team.
It was the anti-Livingstone team. Everyone knows that.
Period. Yeah. They do claim the history of that.
I would too.
Yeah. Their inaugural season, they won the Stanley Cup. We've talked about that already too. In the following season, they were officially formed as the Toronto Arena Hockey Club.
Lame.
Right? They were formed by the Arena Company, obviously. We've talked about all of this. They were formed. The Arena Company decided no team that wasn't an NHL team could play at that arena. We've talked about all of this. So Livingstone obviously sued them because
Fair.
they took a bunch of his players and he wanted them back. And in the 2018 to 2019 season, they had racked up a ton of legal fees. And they actually had to sell most of their players.
In 2018?
1918 and 1919.
It's like we're still
I'm
fighting
so
about
sorry.
that?
Yeah, in 1918 and 1919, they did that. They actually halted play, which was granted just for this team, which was granted by the NHL because of all of those situations, which is fine because in 1919, there was no Stanley Cup winner due to the flu epidemic.
Yeah, the Spanish influenza epidemic of 1918. I recall.
Yeah.
Bad stuff.
They ended up filing for bankruptcy and selling to a group that mainly consisted of people who ran the senior amateur St. Patrick's team, as well as Charlie Query, who became the manager of the club. They rebranded to the Toronto St. Patrick's, which is what they were as all the way through 1927. Their jerseys were changed from the traditional blue and white to green and white, and they won their second Stanley Cup in 1922. However, Query did lose a lawsuit to Livingstone, and he put the St. Pat's up for sale. Conn Smythe, does that name sound familiar to you?
No.
Well, it should, because he's got the MVP trophy is named after him for the league. It's the Conn Smythe Trophy. It's the most valuable player in the playoffs.
Cute.
He is a fascinating man, too. He has a big military background. He was offered to be a general in the military, but he turned it down. He's a fascinating man. Look into him sometime.
Remind me when I'm in between semesters.
He persuaded, because Query had received higher bids, specifically one from Philadelphia, but he persuaded Query to not accept those because civic pride was more important than money.
A man of morals.
Yeah.
The theme of the episode, have morals. It's
Have
fine.
morals, it's fine. The theme of the episode is not be a gold digger. Not
The theme of this
here.
episode, no, we were gold diggers. We took the money and ran with lightning, and then we got
Put the money in the
bankrupt.
bag and stole the key, and that was the last time you ever saw me.
Oh, we love Taylor.
Yeah. And Conn Smythe took over on Valentine's Day of 1927 and immediately renamed the team the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I like that way better.
Yes. And their uniforms returned to the traditional blue and white that we still see today. The blue representing the Canadian skies and the white representing the snow.
That's so sweet.
Isn't it?
It's so baby girl.
It's so baby girl. It's giving written by a woman. Oh my gosh. Their goaltender on this team currently is so written by a woman. I've saved a video to show you of him just like playing the piano. It's very Charles Leclerc of him. 4 years after Conn Smythe took over the team, they would win their third championship, beating the New York Rangers in the finals.
As they should.
Yeah, as they should. We beat the Rangers.
We beat the Rangers.
That win was very special to Conn Smythe because years prior, he was actually lined up to be the Rangers general manager, their first general manager and head coach, but he was fired before the season actually began. So it was like an extra important win to be like, and also, fuck you.
And also, we hate the Rangers.
Let's skip to 1933.
Please.
Ace Bailey. That's a
That's a-
good hockey name.
I can't snap because my fingers are too cold.
If that man didn't become a professional hockey player,
He was going to be an athlete.
there's
in some
also a guy that
capacity.
we're going to talk about, Punch Imlock.
A hockey
That
man,
is
if I've
a
ever
hockey.
seen one.
Yeah, 100%.
That's his God-given government name.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah. 1933, Ace Bailey was nearly killed in a game after a Bruins player checked him from behind, knocking him face first into the boards at full speed.
No.
His career was ended from it. He did make a full recovery, but he never played hockey again.
Oh.
In this game, a defenseman for the Maple Leafs, Red Horner, also a hockey name for
Yeah.
sure, actually knocked Eddie Shore out with a single punch.
That was a guy who did the dirty hit to Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I just wanted to mention
Matter
that.
of fact, encouraged.
Yeah. They reached the finals 5 times between 1934 and 1941. And in the 42 season in the finals against Detroit, down 3-0, Don Metz would score a hat trick and the game-winning goal in Game 5.
The man he is.
Yes. In Game 6, they completely shut out Detroit and won, and then they went on to win Game 7 to secure their Stanley Cup win.
Good stuff.
They came back from 3 games to none.
Yeah,
to
they
win
did.
is
Out of
insane.
nothing but spite.
Yeah. In 45, They would upset the Red Wings in 7 games to win the cup again.
Screw you, Detroit. Just kidding. Y'all are my babies.
In 47, they beat their rivals Montreal to win the cup. In 48, they swept the Red Wings again in 4
Golly.
games to win the cup, outscoring them 18-7 in the series. In 49, they also swept the Red Wings again in 4 games, outscoring them 12-5.
My Red Wings are just trying the best they can, okay?
Yeah. They would become the first NHL team to win 3 straight Stanley Cups.
Look at them freaking go.
And at the time, they moved ahead of Montreal for the most cups in NHL history.
And that's their rival.
Yes. It was reclaimed by Montreal.
Boo.
Yeah. A decade later. But we all know Montreal's. They've got their cups.
Oh, they've got some.
They've got
cups to spare.
They're set for hosting. They've got plenty of cups.
Yes.
And in the 1951 finals against Montreal, they won in 5 games. All 5 games went into overtime.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Defenseman Bill Barlko scored the game-winning goal in Game 5 to allow them to win the cup again.
Thanks, Bill.
A few months later, he disappeared in a plane crash.
I hope he died immediately.
Yeah,
I
me
hope he
too.
didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah, me too. The Leafs didn't win another cup for a decade afterwards.
Oh, we took that to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
In the 1961 offseason, Stafford Smythe, Conn Smythe's son, Joshua Bassett, not Joshua Bassett,
The Disney guy? How?
John Bassett, and Harold Bullard were sold the majority of Conn Smythe's shares of the team. So Conn Smythe still
Why? Did
owned
we just
shares.
want out?
Conn Smythe says that he knew that he was selling the majority of them to Stafford Smythe. He says that he didn't realize that he had partners, but everybody's kind of like, that's unlikely.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah. However, it did kind of pay off because finally the team would win another 3 straight Stanley Cups in 62, 63, and 64.
Good.
With the help of Frank Mahoflet, Red Kelly, Johnny Bauer, Dave Keon, Andy Bathgate, and Tim Horton.
We know
Return of
him.
They led that team, those 3 Stanley Cup wins. For real, for real. Their head coach and general manager at that time was Punch Imlach.
These names are so hockey.
They are the most hockey names.
They're the most hockey names I've come across yet.
Yeah. They made the finals again in 1967 with the Canadiens. This was the last time that those two would face each other in the finals again to date, which is
I
kind
was
of...
about to say to date.
Montreal was a heavy favorite for that series, but the Leafs would beat them in 6 games to win their last Stanley Cup. They still haven't won one to date.
Yeah, they really fell off after this.
Yeah, in 69, Punch Imlach was fired. And him and Tim Horton had worked together for so long and built such a close relationship that Tim Horton actually said, if this team doesn't want Imlach, I guess they don't want me. And
Did he mean it?
He was traded to the Rangers the following season. They were competitive throughout the 70s, but only made it past the second round of playoffs once. In 1980, Conn Smythe passes away.
Rip.
And Harold Bullard bought his shares. In turn, ended up buying the majority share of the company.
So he's in charge. Got it.
He is in charge. He actually brought back Punch Imlach. He had a very public dispute with multiple prominent players on the team. So he's problematic as hell.
Sounds very FIA.
He ended up, him and Sittler specifically didn't get along. And to be a petty little bitch, Harold traded McDonald, who was a very good friend and teammate, to Sittler.
Wow.
And
what a douche.
it is widely agreed upon that Harold Bullard sent them in a downward spiral.
Get out of here.
They had a terrible win-loss record for multiple years. Didn't win a single cup. From 1980 to 1992, they were barely even competitive. Didn't have a single winning record season. And missed the playoffs 6 times.
You suck.
Mm-hmm.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
And it wasn't until 1990 when Harold Bullard died.
Bye.
And Cliff Fletcher was hired to run the team.
Please tell me he did better.
Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of trades and acquisitions. They did become competitive again under his reign. And by the 92-93 season, they were back to 8th best in the league.
Good stuff.
Which there's 32 teams, so like
That's not bad.
that's not bad. They would stay competitive until the end of the 2003-2004 season, where they would then miss the playoffs for 6 straight years.
Yikes.
Post the lockout that happened in 2005. In 2008, their general manager was replaced with Cliff Fletcher on an interim basis, and then by Brian Burke more long term.
Oh, so he finally gave up his power. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Head coach was fired and replaced with a different head coach, who was then also fired along with the majority of the assistant coaches.
That's fair.
In 2012, again, the head coach was fired and replaced just 2 months after he had initially signed his contract extension.
2 months?
In August of 2012, ownership levels changed around. The majority owner sold their shares to other parties. In 2015, they fired head coach Randy Carlisle despite finally having a winning season record.
Why did they fire him? What did Randy do? Justice for Randy.
Justice for Randy, and they did become uncompetitive by the end of the season.
Yeah, bring Randy back.
The team president, Brendan Shanahan, gave the board of directors an approval to begin a, quote, scorched earth rebuild of the club.
Oh my God, let's go. Okay, I'm ready.
I said, boy, did they ever.
Let's freaking go.
General manager Dave Nonis was relieved from his duties.
Bye, bitch.
Assistant coach was also relieved from his duties, along with several others. Multiple members of the scouting department were, quote, relieved from their duties. Mike Babcock was named head coach in 2015, relieved in 2019 by Sheldon Keefe.
Yes.
I only wanted to point out when he was relieved because I wanted to talk about Sheldon Keefe.
What are you doing here?
Hi.
A crossover.
Lou Lamorelli was named general manager, then replaced in 2018 by Kyle Dubas. A massive trade package, including a multitude of players and draft picks, was made between Toronto and Ottawa. And then another package was made mid-season between Toronto and Ottawa.
So we're allies. Got it.
Yes. They finished last in the league for the first time since 1985.
Not surprised.
However, they did win the draft lottery, and
Yay.
they drafted Austin Matthews,
Okay.
who is still there today. He is team captain now, currently.
Austin Matthews is also a cutesy name. Like, it
Yeah.
just flows well.
He
It doesn't
looks-
scream hockey, though. It,
It
definitely
doesn't
gives more football vibes.
I mean, it's no Punch Imlach.
It's no Ace Bailey.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but you'd be very hard pressed to find names that scream hockey player like those two.
No, in that era, we were just full of hockey players. Like,
Oh,
you knew
yeah.
them a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me
sure.
if you just asked me Austin Matthews if I know who that is, or take a wild guess, I'd be like, singer.
Yeah. It's kind of
Like a folk singer. Like him and Noah Khan over here.
Like he plays banjo for Noah Khan.
Yeah. Or like the harmonica.
The harmonica. The thing is, I know what Austin Matthews looks like, and so I'm picturing, and I could see him playing banjo or harmonica.
Really?
Yes.
Because of the name.
Because of the name.
All right, tell me about this Austin Matthews.
He was the number one draft pick in 2016. In 2022, he actually became the first Leaf in over a decade to score 60 goals in one season. He then broke his own record in 2023-2024, so last season. He scored 69 goals. And
Good
he
for
was
him.
named the captain before this current season started.
How old is he? He's just like a
26?
normal age. He's not like 23 or anything crazy.
No, I want to say he's like 29.
29?
He's 27.
Okay.
Let's go back to 2016-2017. They secured the second wild card spot for the 2017 playoffs. Lost in round 1. 2018, they finished with 105 points, a new franchise record for regular season points.
Good job, gentlemen.
And then in the 2021-2022 season, they broke that record, finishing with 115 points and 50 wins.
Nice.
So
Good work.
they're pretty good. Oh, Sophia just now responded to me.
Hey, Sophia.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Welcome to the pod. Guest star.
Guest star.
Honorable mention.
I can't wait to hear about your date. Some notable things. They're the most valuable team in the league in terms of money. They are set at a worth of $3.66 billion.
How?
They just have so much history. You know, that kind of history just builds wealth.
I mean, no disrespect, but...
The second in the league are the Rangers, set at $3.25 billion. And third in the league is Montreal, set at $2.93 billion.
That makes sense.
Yeah. 3 of the oldest teams.
Yeah, I mean...
So it kind of tracks.
I guess I'll allow it.
They have an extremely loyal fan base, despite winning performance.
Well, I feel like that's important here.
Yeah. But Sports Illustrated did call them in 2022 the most hated team in hockey. Just because people...
Really? With the Rangers out here?
Just, I know, right? Some other honorable mention players. William Nylander. His dad played professional hockey. He's pretty good. Him and Austin Matthews have played together for a really long time.
Are they besties?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew Nyes. He's really good. John Tavers is an incredible forward.
Oh, that's the guy that I saw a TikTok for this morning.
Mm-hmm. And you were
Which
like,
is
who
crazy,
is this?
because I did not remember that we were talking about them. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like his name. Good job on naming, parents. Y'all did a good one with that one.
And Joseph Wall, who is their goalie. He's the man that I say was written by a woman. He's like the Charlotte Leclerc.
Can you please expand on how he was written by a woman?
I can't. I just have to show, and you'll see.
All right, I believe you.
I'll show you one video of him playing the piano. I literally thought that he was fake playing the piano, but no.
Freaking love a man who plays the piano.
Yeah.
Because they don't sing at you.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
I think that's what it is. A guy who plays guitar, he plays guitar
sing
at you. He's looking at you playing guitar, and it's as someone who's dated either one or multiple.
I've been saying too, by playing a guitar too, like
it's just very how they did that scene in Barbie
is so accurate.
So accurate. But a man who plays guitar is a man who has depth 9 times out of 10.
Piano.
Yes.
Men who play guitar at you. Men who play piano for you.
Ooh, I like it. I think
Thanks.
Edward from Twilight played piano. And he was ready to risk it all for that teenager.
Oh my God, he was.
Okay.
That is so out of pocket.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss?
That's all, really.
I really like the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the history of the Maple Leafs. And I'm so curious to see faces to these names.
Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to watch them a little bit. I love a good classic uniform, a little blue on white, and it has symbolism. It has a meaning.
I really like their uniforms a lot.
I'd be willing to watch them play. Like, I don't have any issues with them.
Yeah.
For real. Especially if they don't play dirty. Especially if they're the people hate to play them because they're so good. Like, you're saying I'm good? Are you saying I'm talented? Stop it. Don't flatter me.
I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other teams. You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't get me.
You just don't understand what we're doing here.
It's a business.
And I love a rebuild that actually rebuilds. Yeah. I appreciate that.
I think they've still, I think they've still got some work to do.
If you have a good goaltender and you have I feel like if you have a good center or offense really, then that you're off to a good start.
Yeah.
You got to have a good goaltender.
They've
That's
got
what
a
I'm
lot
learning.
Of the pieces. They went to the playoffs last season. I think they lost in round 1 to Boston.
Question mark?
I think they definitely lost in round 1, but also William Nylander was injured last season. Austin Matthews is currently injured.
Oh, no.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, I like their vibe. Don't know if I can cheer for them. I'm sorry, Sophia.
Why?
I just don't. They
just don't click for you?
They just don't click for me. Maybe I need to chat with her.
The philanthropic work sold
the philanthropic
me.
work. I'm sold. I support them. Don't get me wrong, but like,
But if their game is on, are you okay to watch? Or
yeah,
no?
like I'm fine to watch it, but you know, I'm not gonna cheer for them over the Hurricanes or the Devils or the Bruins or a lot of the teams.
Yeah, I think
I'll cheer for them over the Rangers.
I'll cheer for almost anyone over the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't met anyone that I despise more than the Rangers yet.
Me neither.
And I appreciate a good villain. I love a good villain. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
A villain hates to see me coming because I'm going to defend it with my life.
Yeah.
But they're not it for me. Anything else? Any final notes?
Next episode is going. These were the last 2 teams for the Atlantic Division.
Oh, already?
Yes. So next week we're gonna start the Pacific Division. So we're gonna talk about the Anaheim Ducks.
Quack, quack, motherfucker.
And the Vancouver Canucks.
Ottawa's just sitting there looking at him like, what could have
That
been?
should be me.
Quacking, quack, quack.
Instead, I'm a broke bitch. Okay.
God, I've seen what you've done for others.
Actually, I don't know if they want to take on what the Anaheim Ducks have right now.
Oh, no. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see, yeah.
Who
Okay.
else? We're just talking about the Ducks.
The Vancouver Canucks as well. We're gonna
Canucks,
find out
as
what the
in
fuck is a Canuck.
Canadians, not Canucks as in Ducks. I didn't even think about that. The Anaheim Ducks, the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, it rhymes. I didn't think about that either. That's actually 100% why I'm putting these 2 on the same episode. For sure, for sure.
100%. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that going into it.
Mhm.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
That's the...
That's the last Hughes brother.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I'm
And then
excited.
Dixie D'Amelio's boyfriend, maybe ex-boyfriend.
Who?
Dixie D'Amelio? the
Don't just say the
TikToker?
game again or the name again like I know who that is.
You definitely do. I'll show you a picture. And Brock Boser, R.I.P. Not
R.I.P.
He's not R.I.P. He's just injured.
What'd you say it was called? Injured reserve?
Yeah, the IR.
He's not R.I.P'd. He's just IR'd.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to wrap this up.
Oh my gosh, you're right. We're just rambling. Okay.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yes.
And we hope to see you next episode. This is a wrap on episode 8 of Two Girls Chirping.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye.